Our next discussion is very close to my heart, being a pet parent myself. Our next panel speakers will talk about pet culture in our cities and urban neighborhoods. Let's welcome to the stage our moderator, Pipa Woodhead, head of podcasts, Tiger Hall. Colin Chi, creator and creative director, Never Too Small. Didi Almeida, Indonesia's animal whisperer. And Jessica Safra Palanca, winning author, journalist, and animal welfare advocate.
Hello. Is everyone awake? Give me a woo if you're awake. Louder. Nice. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Pippa. I'm head of podcasts at Tiger Hall. And let me introduce my amazing panel. First, we have Colin Chi. Colin is... oh, lovely applause. Colin is creative director behind the YouTube channel Never Too Small. Now, fun fact about Never Too Small, it's been featured in the Wall Street Journal as one of the best 3 YouTube channels for interior design. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Next, we have Didi Almeida. Didi is known as Indonesia's animal whisperer. If you haven't spoken to Didi yet... Didi's absolutely amazing. She communicates with animals. She uses non-verbal communication to understand what animals are thinking and feeling. And if you're very nice to her and you want to show her a picture of your pet, she will tell you what they think. Next, we have Jessica Zafra. Jessica is an award-winning author, journalist, and animal welfare advocate. I'd also like to highlight Jessica's amazing cat shirt. Very nice. Now, the 4 of us are here because we're all animal lovers. We are going to be discussing the different realities for pet owners when it comes to finding suitable homes and spaces in key Asian cities. And why this is relevant to all of you in this room is because in recent years in particular, more and more people have pets. Especially COVID. I'm sure a few of you here either got a pet during COVID or you certainly know someone who did. A couple of quick stats before we dive in. Approximately half of Hong Kong's major developments now cater to pets, which is a 40% jump from 2018. In Sydney, Australia, this is almost funny, but probably shouldn't laugh, a new development with Sotheby's International Realty initially had 29 inquiries. This dropped to just 3 when the prospects found out that pets were off limits. So the remaining 26 for all dog owners. Looking more globally, Forbes has said that dog-centric real estate is among the top trend, is one of the top trends to watch in 2023. So, to warm us up, everybody, I have some very quick fire questions. Are you up for it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Colin, Labrador or Golden Retriever?
Labrador, of course.
Oh, of course. Didi, what's cuter, kittens or puppies?
Kittens, absolutely.
Oh, that's the wrong answer, I'm afraid. Jessica, tabby cat or Bengal cat?
Tabby.
Nice. Okay. So now we're all warmed up. I'm going to go on to my first sensible question. Oh. Smooth. So earlier this year, we saw a pet-friendly cinema being announced. What are your thoughts on this? Pet cinemas. Colin?
Obviously, I'm welcome to ideas because I can take my dogs for a movie with my partner together. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Would your dog watch?
Sorry?
Would your dog watch the movie?
Probably not. He used to when he was a little puppy,
Yeah?
but ever since he's more behaved like a cat now. So my dog is 50% cat, unfortunately, so he doesn't like a cuddle. 20 minutes max, and that's it, yeah.
Okay. Didi?
Okay, that's actually a very good idea, but this is just my personal opinion. I don't think my cats will enjoy watch the movie for too long in cinema because they have to be inside of the carriers all the time, and I think it can make them stress. And as my experience, cats are more introverts than dogs, right? And they don't really like to go outside. So yeah, maybe that's a good idea, but it's not for me.
Jessica?
I think my cats would be bored They can stand up to 10 minutes of tennis on TV, but whole movies, other than Elf, they probably will not go for it.
What about yourself?
Oh, thank you so much. Turning a question on me. I mean, I initially thought, wow, I love the idea, but my dog would, if there are other dogs there, my dog would want to play. My dog wouldn't sit still, so I'm not sure it's for us. So, Colin, looking for your amazing design insights. Homes are getting smaller, especially in big cities. What are we seeing in terms of design, and how can design be used to make our homes more comfortable, both for us, but also for our pets?
I think if we live in the small footprint homes, we really need to be careful with which breed of dogs or cats we have as well. And I have seen some, oh, that's my dog there. Hello, Shira. Sorry, I'm just like, showing the butt. I guess I live in the apartment for the last decade now, and I have seen some people who has the wrong breed of dogs in the apartment living, like husky or working dogs. When we choose the animal, we have to be choosing the breeds that's more docile and more suitable for small space. But in terms of design, it's very much, as a pet owner, I kind of listen to my dog. I live in a small studio apartment, and we bought some pet beds, and then we bought some pet crates, but my dog never liked it. His favorite space is actually under the sink in the bathroom. And then I figure out, because it's quiet and then it's got a sort of good temperature, it doesn't get too hot or too cold, and then it's a bit dim. And I found out that that's his favorite space, and that's where I put an old towel for him instead of a pet bed. That's where I can wash it constantly. And in terms of design, there's a lot you can do nowadays. There are so many products in the market. For small spaces, especially have pets, is that multifunctional pet furniture that you can get online, or you can make it yourself. There are a lot of instruction online these days. And yeah, in terms of interior design or from the developers, if you want to ask me that question later, or should I answer it now?
I think that's on my list for later, but
okay, sure, yeah.
we can skip ahead if you like. It's funny you say bathroom floor. Whenever we can't find our dog, she's always in the bathroom because the floor's nice and cold. Okay, Didi, just on the point that homes are getting smaller, when we're thinking about our homes, we obviously want our animals to be happy and feel comfortable in their home. What should pet owners be thinking about?
Okay, first of all, when we adopt a pet, there is a lifetime commitment, right? And having a pet is having a new family member for us. Even some pet lovers also call their pets as fury kids. Do you call your pets as fury kids or not? Oh yeah, yeah. So I always say that I am a proud mom of 4 cats, and they are our kids. So it is important when I choose a home, I make sure they have a special space for them. Although the cats and dogs are domesticated animals, so they always love to follow us everywhere. But make sure they still have their own special space, just in case they want to have a me time. And also they need some activities at home. So you can use anything at home, like my cats usually climb a tree in my yard. But you can use anything in your home. Just make sure they have the space to have their activities, so they will be happy every time.
And I know, Didi, one thing that you've witnessed a lot in your work is stress in pets, which deals to a variety of health issues. How does the home environment play a role in this?
I think home environment is very important in related to stress in pets, because when pets get stressed, they can get some disease, and when they are happy, also they absolutely will be more healthy. And I think one of animal right is to have a right to express their natural behavior, right? So make sure the cats or dogs can go around and express their natural behavior. Don't lock them every day in a cage or in a crate or in a room. So and we can also take dog for a walk. And also when we take dog for a walk, the dogs can release their stress, and also the owners can release their stress. So it's be beneficial for the both of us.
Yes, I definitely get more exercise
Yes.
since I got the dog. Better for my stress levels as well. And Jessica, as an advocate for animals, how do you see the role of property developers in creating communities that are not just pet friendly within our individual homes, but also in the broader neighborhood context?
Well, I'd like to go to a more basic question, as in there are developments in the Philippines that don't allow pets at all. It happens. So maybe a more respectful attitude and recognition that we now have animal welfare laws. And so people can keep pets because, as Didi pointed out, a lot of people treat their cats and dogs as their children, as family members. So, it's not something that people have a choice in. Oh, I want to live in this building, but I have a dog, so I will just rehome my dog. You cannot do that. So it's a simple matter of respect. So and also changing this primitive belief that somehow having animals within a real estate development lowers the value of the real estate, which I find just bizarre. But I think a lot of people still think that. So.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me before, that if there are lots of cats around a development, people tend to... Well, I can't remember what you said.
Well, yes, because starting with the pandemic, I started taking long walks to keep from running amok. And I noticed there were a lot of stray cats. And then I noticed that there were volunteers who set up groups so that they can take turns feeding the cats, having them spayed and neutered, taking care of their medical needs, etc. And there's still a lot of resistance from the building owners, which just don't want to have the cats around, even if somebody else feeds them, somebody else looks after them. So I think it's an attitude that has to change. Some people still think of pets as vermin rather than fur children. So.
Oh, that's sad. So one thing I wanted to ask you about, Jessica, is I know you volunteer with a group that cares for stray cats, and there are some issues you've encountered in relation to real estate. What's the story here?
Oh yeah, I have a horror story. Sorry, trigger warning to people, but there was a hotel, fairly posh, next to a park, which had plenty of community cats, which were cared for by a volunteer group. And the management of the hotel decided that they did not want to have these cats so near to their premises, so they hired an exterminator to round up the cats and get rid of them, think your worst. And the reaction was community outrage. As in, everyone went to Google and caused the rating of the hotel to drop to 1, for which they have only recently recovered. But then community outrage is something that we can't channel every week, when a cat is maltreated. So we need more systems in place to be able to take care of stray animals.
Agree. So I've got a question for all of you, and we'll go down the chain. How can communities make sure they're being inclusive to all? So to strike a balance between accommodating people with pets and also respecting the rights and preferences of non-pet owners?
Well, I suppose pets usually are much more well-behaved than people or some of my neighbors.
Agree.
And I think as a pet owners, we have the responsibility to sort of not getting our pets into people's space as well. We have to respect the personal space. Not everyone loves pets. I do take my dog on the tram kind of daily to work. And I make sure that my dog doesn't get too close to people, even though he's in the backpack. Some people want to come and pet the dog, and I do not like it when people just come and touch my dog without asking me, because you never know, right? Some dogs are not very friendly. Luckily, my dog is. And I think it's a mutual respect that we need to have. There's other things to look after as well, like if there are many instances in Australia or in Melbourne is that if you have cat in the residence or around the neighborhood area, maybe we should make it mandatory for all the cat owners to put a bell on the cat. So when they get around the neighborhood, they don't attack any kind of endangered species animals in Australia. Because I did see some dead parrots that killed by cats in my neighborhoods before. And Yeah, there's so much I can talk about it now. I might come back to it.
We can absolutely come back to it. Didi?
Okay, I think a strict rule have to be followed every time, because we have to be responsible to our own pets, like Colin said, and like for example, we have to make sure we take care of our pets and make sure the dogs. We walk the dogs with the leash every time, and I think it is important that the owners take the responsible, because after all they are just animal, right? And we cannot control them every time. So just make sure the owner of every pets have the same responsibility.
Great answer. Jessica?
Just respect for everyone, whether they like pets, whether they're weirdos who hate pets. But, clean up after your dog. Not every place is Paris, the dog poop capital of the world. Sorry if there are French people
Agree.
here. If people are clearly uncomfortable with pets, do not say, no, you have to play with my husky. It's just a matter of recognizing people's what people can take, and boundaries.
I'm kind of curious to know if this is the first time poop has been said on the Ares stage.
I said that last year.
Really? Damn. Okay, so the four of us, we all live in different cities. We've got Singapore, Melbourne, Jakarta, Manila. I'd love to hear a bit more about your localized experiences. So, Colin, you're in Melbourne, which is one of the most livable cities in the region. Can you tell us a bit about your experience living in a studio in Melbourne with a dog, and any key realizations you've had about having a pet?
Are we
in Melbourne?
talking about the apartment first? Or are we talking about the city?
Start with the apartment and then go bigger.
All right. So I live in this development, which is about 2,500 units out of 4 blocks, and within the blocks, there's a pretty big what do you call it? Like a public space where kids and animals all play together, which I do not agree, because even though we kind of create a community, dog owners tend to hang out with the dog owners, and then the parents tend to hang out with the parents. But the way it was designed, that playground with all the animals and children run together, you got animal poops and pees, and then children roll over on the grass, which I find it pretty disgusting. And occasionally there were some near mishap about, children nearly got bitten by other dogs because they just go and touch other dogs. We submit a couple of applications, a few dog owners, and trying to get the management, the body corporates, to put on some fence for us so the dog can play safely and the children can play safely. Of course, it got rejected, not just because they don't give us any reason. It just say they're not allowed to. So if any one of you guys want to develop some kind of a pet-friendly apartment building in the future, maybe put that in mind or on your notepad now. In terms of Melbourne City, people like to think that it's a pet-friendly place. I don't really agree with that. I mean, you can walk your dogs everywhere. You can't take your dogs to inside a shopping center. Usually you get kicked out. Apart from that, we are allowed to take the dogs on the tram or train. On the train, you have to put a leash. On the tram, you have to put them in a crate or a backpack. In the city, it's actually quite clean, unlike Paris. It's really landmines everywhere with poops. In Melbourne, because cities, there are so many people, if your dog poop, you just have to pick it up because people are just going to watch you. It's a very nanny state. And a couple of times I forgot to take my poop back, so I had to use the name card in my wallet. I don't know belongs to whom. I just have to pick it up, the poop, and chuck it in the bin. But I have to admit that sometimes I didn't pick it up when no one's watching me, when I forgot to poop.
Colin, I'm shocked.
Oh, well, I'm being honest here. Some people do that.
Okay, Colin doesn't always pick up.
I
his dog's
always
poop.
do. Sometimes it's just run out of poop bag.
Okay. Okay, so Didi, you live in Indonesia. What are you seeing change in terms of pet-friendly developments and facilities?
Okay, I run an animal clinic in Indonesia, so I know that the number of pet ownership in Indonesia, especially in Jakarta, is doubled and raising from years to years because the number of the client of my clinic is doubled from 2020 to 2021 is rising so big. And of course, every clients need a new home because they usually adopt just stray cats or stray dogs in Jakarta. And I also cooperate with some community, and we usually do some charity event for the stray cats and stray animal. So the concern is already high in Jakarta, and it is a very good initiative. Then the property developers also have the initiative to build some pet-friendly property like apartment or housing complex. And for example, there is an area in Kemang where there is a pet-friendly apartment with a jogging track around the apartment and a mall, that a pet-friendly mall with pet-friendly cafe. And the pet lovers love to hang around with our cats, right? And or our dogs. So the initiative is already good. That already a good start in some place in Indonesia.
Okay, and Jessica, do you feel like having pets in Manila limits people's choice on housing and recreation options?
Well, I think that in recent years, property developments have realized that this is a war they cannot win. More and more people are having pets, so they're just going to have to find a way to make to develop more pet-friendly properties. For instance, malls, of which we have plenty in Metro Manila, have come to recognize the sheer retail possibility of having cats and dogs on the premises. They realize that pet owners spend millions on food, toys, and other pet necessities. And so they welcome them into the mall, although in my neighborhood mall, your pet has to have something called a pet passport. So that, and when they go to the mall, they can't walk on the floor. They have to be carried or placed in a stroller. So there are some weird instances where you go to the mall on a Sunday, and there are more dogs in strollers than babies. So I think things are changing.
What an image. Okay, so we've already discussed poop, but on a sort of city council level, what are you guys seeing in terms of how inclusive the public spaces are for those with pets? We've already discussed a little bit. Anything else to say?
There's not enough dog park in Melbourne City, unfortunately. We only have a small one, which is from my apartment, which is I live right in the center. We have to walk about half an hour to get there. And there's another closer park, which is more dog owners bring their dogs there, but there's no fence. We meant to put our dog on leash, but all the dog owners, they get frustrated. They just let their dogs run free. And occasionally people get fined. And we put a lot of application trying to get the council to put on the fence, but it's always get rejected as well. And if I don't think anyone here work for the City of Council in Melbourne, but if you know anyone that works for there, and let them know that I'm really pissed off. We pay for the registration for the pets and everything, but we don't get much in return apart from disposable. All the poop bags disposable, but they give you free poop bags in the park to pick up after your dog. But apart from that, there's no other things that the city offer for pet owners.
It's important, right? Because for dogs to be happy, they need to run around.
I think we're trying to create a safe community, an inclusive one, because I can understand why certain malls doesn't get allow pets to go in because of insurance purposes. If the dog attack anyone, and then the company got to be responsible for it. And it's the same level of, if you walk in the street with your dogs, even though how much you know your dog, you never know how the dog going to behave, out of the blue. So yeah, trying to create a safe fence dog park is essential for any kind of community, big or small. Because if we look at how, any kind of marketing about how livable the city is, on the poster, there's always a dog or a cat. It sort of brings the sense of neighborhood. And this is how we know how a lot of us growing up with pets around us, and to know that most of the pet owners in Australia, I mean in the city of Melbourne, they 50% or 60% are cat owners, the rest are dog owners. Even though that's the statistic the city of council put out, but a lot of pets, they are not registered because the owners are not happy with what the city is providing them in terms of the registration fee we pay them every year. So it's sort of lost. The data is not accurate for me because a lot of my neighbors, they don't register their dog. Yeah.
Got it. And Didi, anything to add from your end?
I think that's all from Colin. I agree with you.
Thank you.
Jessica?
Ditto. And I have to point out, though, that in Metro Manila, city councils change every 4 to 6 years. And periodically, someone is elected who decides that all stray cats and dogs must be rounded up and taken to the pound. And these things change depending on how the city council members feel about animals. So it's always very tragic when an order like that is executed, because literally those cats and dogs are going to be taken to the pound and be euthanized. So I think something needs to be in place to guarantee that these things are not going to happen.
Can I chime in a little bit?
Yeah.
So in Australia at the moment, we kind of having this kind of people embedding their pets after COVID, because during COVID time, everyone trying to find a companionship. So they go and adopt the dogs or cats, or they buy puppies. And those what we call the COVID puppies. So they're growing up with people working from home. Now things back to normal, everyone back to work and go to holidays. That's when the pets having some kind of separation anxiety, where they bark and the neighbors complain and then they couldn't look after them. So in New South Wales, people abandon their dogs, how many was it again? More than 100 a week. So you get like, yeah. And then Melbourne is not any better. And the shelter having a hard time to sort of accommodate all these abandoned pets. And to be honest, I don't think everyone's capable to be a pet owner. A lot of people purchase by impulse during COVID time. And maybe there's needs some kind of a policy that allow, to control people, or they need to sign something or pay more insurance or something. So pet ownership, it should be accessible, but at the same time, how can we create a kind of responsibility within people? If you want to divorce your wife, at least 50% of your money will go to the other person, right? I don't know. I'm just suggesting. It was stupid ideas.
The same as parents with human children.
Yes, exactly.
Not always great at it. Okay, Colin, question for you. How can property developers collaborate with interior designers like you to create pet-friendly residential projects?
I guess when we create pet-friendly projects or developments, don't over-design it. A lot of the time when people think about, I'm going to create an apartment building for pets, and then they're going to put the pet playground or anything like the dispenser for food and snacks. Not every pet can eat every kind of snack. Some of them got allergy. But instead, focus on the interior of the space. When we talk about interior of the space, we don't mean that you create a lot of hoo-ha playground. You don't want to market your apartment as a playground for pets. It's more like pet-friendly. When pet-friendly, we talk about materials. Like floorboard, if you put floorboard, maybe put the one that doesn't get damaged by pets easily, as well as simple as the bathroom, because living in a small apartment, we don't get access to the garden, and not all of the balcony doors is open all the time for dogs to go out to the balcony, especially in winter, you can't do that. So to have a shower area, not the bathtub, a shower area that the dog can walk in, for me, it's like, if in the shower, you have a male dog, they usually stand up and pee, so they will pee on the wall. If you create a drainage around, instead of in the middle, that would be a plus for the dog to pee on the wall and get straight into it, so they don't mess up their feet. And but for a female dog, they squat, so why don't we create two drainage, one on the side and then the one in the middle. We have two sinks in a lot of apartments these days anyway. So if that's one pet-friendly, for me that's pet-friendly. I would buy the apartment straight away, because that's the problem that I have. Even though you have people selling this fake grass, you call it the toilet, the lawn toilet or something, for apartments for dogs, but it doesn't always work for all the dogs, especially if you have slightly bigger dog. The patch is so small, and then you have to pay people to come and collect it every week. And so it's kind of extra cost that, to add up to your living cost. And public spaces, or share spaces within the apartment. In Australia, people love to put carpet on the corridor. I do not understand that. Don't put carpet. Put concrete or timber flooring, whatever that's easy to be cleaned. And then don't use wooden cladding around the wall. As you know, dogs like to pee. And basic stuff like this. And it makes it easier for the building to be maintained so we don't pay extra maintenance fees. And at the same time, it's so much more easier for the pet owners. We don't need to create a lot of things. We need to create a space where a little bit more thoughtful in terms of in the kitchen area, maybe dedicate a little area with a floating shelf above it where we can put the pet food and feed the pets. And other than that, a safe space for dogs or for any pets, which is under the sink in the bathroom. So don't put any kind of storage, or at least put a floating storage. So we have access of that, and we can put a cat litter as well.
Sidebar to interior design principles and having pets. If you live in a small apartment with cats, say goodbye to privacy because you will never go to the bathroom alone again because they decide that they want to go when you are there.
Yeah.
They're sort of keeping you company at the time when you would rather be alone, but that's cats. And, with cats, they don't really require much in terms of design, but they need to have a view so that, they can imagine that they are dominating the world in some way and catching all the birds that they see. So a window that is safe for them to access, you don't need much.
Okay, guys, we're out of time. Just maybe very quickly, if we go down the line again, what is your dream for the future of pet-friendly developments?
It's a hard question. There's so many dreams. I think the ultimate one for me is, a shower that my dog can pee and not mess up his feet.
I've never been on a panel before where poop and pee have been discussed.
But when you have animal, that's the one you have the things that you deal with every day, isn't it?
By the way, Colin's movies, the general title is Wonderful Waste.
Okay. Any other quick things? We're a minute over, guys.
I hope to have pet-friendly properties with facilities, complete facilities, not only for the pets to get entertained, but also for their health care also, and that I hope the property will take care of the stray and the community animal around them.
I really do think that cats are taking over the world. So I hope that when they build their palace, they'll have a little room for me. 5 seconds.
I think at the end of the day, the design decision is to make it safe for human, also for pets. When I say human, it's more like children. Yeah.
Great point. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.